Shop Masterclass series. So glad you guys are all here. I know it's Saturday, which for some of you may make it easier to be here, and for some of you may make it harder. I know my 11-year-old is upstairs currently. I put her on the TV because what you gonna do, right? Life is in session, as we say. So, celebrating you guys for being here. Some of you, I see a lot of familiar faces who've been here for so many days. I see Adam and Elena. Hello, Allison. Hello to both Allisons. Hello, hello. Anna, hi Audrey. I see so many faces who've been here all 4 days. Dawn, hello. Joni, hello. Julie, yes. You guys are rock stars like every day here, like killing it. Nicholas, Rich, hello. Stacy, hi. Stacy and I were texting earlier. Yesenia, like really, guys, that's not a small thing because so many people talk about wanting big change in whatever it is they're up to. It's their singing career, it's their health, it's their relationship, whatever. Talk about wanting big change. And when given the opportunity, a free opportunity, they don't even do it. You guys know that we had like over 500 people register for this, and you guys are the ones who are committed and serious and really care enough about your results and your transformation to be here. So, celebrating each and every one of you. Happy to see all of you. How you guys feeling? We're almost halfway through of the masterclass week. How great was yesterday? Did you guys go home and play with a lot of the new breath support tools from yesterday? Who got in some good reps with their hissing and their lip trills? Tell me in the chat. I want to know who was rocking and playing with some of that yesterday. Rich was, yeah. Allison was, good, good. You guys, it's the conditioning of this stuff that's important, right? It's not just like one and done. It's creating muscle memory. So that conditioning is really important. Good. I'm seeing so many of you in the chat who are talking and celebrating that you are in on these tools. Good. Question: who did their meditation today? Tell me in the chat. Put meditation if you did your meditation today. And if you don't know what that is, it means you missed Monday and you haven't watched the replay yet. And that's okay. The replays are available for you and the meditation is there for you. Lean into it, watch the training. The meditation is a huge part of being able to link mind and body and getting present into the moment of singing so that you can actually create results that are meant for what your body was built to do instead of your brain sabotaging you in the opposite direction. Good. I'm celebrating. So many of you did your meditation. Okay, question. Who's 3 for 3 in their meditation? If you're 3 for 3 in 3 days and 3 meditations, tell me in the chat. Put 3 if you're 3 for 3 in your meditation. Let's celebrate you if you're 3 for 3. Jennifer, Joni, Julie. Nice. Get on it, guys. 3 for 3. Clara, of course. Clara and Jennifer, you guys know the importance of this because you've worked in our tribe and you know what that means, right? Mary, good. Yes. Guys, again, it's conditioning the mindset. Okay. Even if you don't have a practice of meditation, that's okay. There's no wrong way to do it. The only wrong way is not to do it. And it's okay if you're new to it. It's okay if you find yourself falling asleep. That's normal at the beginning, just keep bringing yourself back to his voice and just set it up, okay? And Allison, I love that you're celebrating 2 because you know what? 2 is better than 0. So good. Okay, you guys. So don't forget to keep doing that daily. Conditioning that daily is super important. And also, if you were working on the breath support tools for yesterday, if you have some questions about it, you're not sure if you're integrating it in your own body correctly, right? That's what expert coaches are here for. There's nothing worse than, getting a whole bunch of training and then not being sure if you're actually doing it correctly. So we have a whole Q&A day on Wednesday, which is our final day of the masterclass series. So bring your questions to the to the Q&A day, and we can coach on stuff on Wednesday, okay? All right, so we have a lot to do today. So just a reminder of our housekeeping. Save your questions. We're going to coach first. We're going to train first, and then I'll answer questions if there's time. And like I said, we have the Q&A on Wednesday. A reminder, this is our safe space. It is one of my highest held values of this community. I have zero tolerance for judgment, criticism, throwing shade, meanness in the chat. So we encourage vulnerability and bravery. So please uphold those values for us here and conduct yourself accordingly. If you'd like to be a volunteer and guinea pig to coach in today's session, make sure your original sound for Zoom is switched to on. And I see that we have Coach Annie in the house today. She's one of the expert technique coaches who works alongside me with our singers in the intensive training program. Hey, Annie. How's it
Hi,
going?
everyone. It's awesome.
Hey.
So happy to be here. So excited to see all of your faces here. I hope that it has been like mind-blowing so far, and I know there's a lot of more wonderful things coming out the pipeline today in the next few days.
Yeah, so glad that Annie's here with us. Some of you may have seen Annie if you're in our Pro Singer Success Collective Facebook tribe. Annie and I geek out a lot on vocal technique together where we'll, get on a topic and go back and forth with it. Good. So Annie's here with us today. So we're going to get some of her mojo later too. Thank you, Annie. We'll see you later. And she's also probably going to be throwing her support in the chat on things that we're talking about. All right, guys, let's get to work. So most of you are putting yourselves out there for performances, auditions, recordings, and you're making a really innocent mistake. You don't realize that you lack the rocket fuel to actually stand out from the competition at the level that you need to consistently and deliver that when it counts, no matter what, which then is also affecting your confidence. And so, without this rocket fuel, this is why you're not breaking through yet. Okay. And that rocket fuel, that ammunition, it begins and ends with one idea, and that's energetic sound direction. Energetic sound direction. The way that we direct our energy to get the maximum power, efficiency, and impact out of our instrument, out of our body. And so, how we do this is by using opposition. Opposition. So, yesterday, you got your anchor, what we talk about as the anchor, which is the breath support that anchors the sound in the lower part of your body, creates the most efficient volume and velocity of air moving through your cords to vibrate them the most efficiently. That's your anchor in your breath support. Today, I'm going to give you what we call your sail because you need both. You need your anchor and you need your sail. And once you have them, then you're able to use energetic sound direction in the form of opposition. So I want you to think of a boat. This is the analogy that I use with the singers in our intensive training program. I want you to think of a boat. You got your anchor, like we were talking about yesterday, rooting you into the sand. And then you got your sail facing up into the wind. And whoom, that boat is not going anywhere. It is super stable. Okay. And it is the same in your body. So the energy of your support, that's your anchor, and the shape and space of your resonance, that's your sail, they need to oppose each other energetically in the very same way that an anchor and a sail on a boat oppose each other to create absolute stability. And it is that stability that allows you to consistently tap into the maximum potential of your instrument and bring your best sound every single time. So that's our first concept for today. That's concept number one for today. If you're following along in your masterclass workbook, first concept for today is opposition is what creates absolute stability, consistency, and power for your biggest impact. You need your anchor and you need your sail. But right now, you guys only have the anchor. We did that yesterday with anchoring your support. So today, let's talk about your sail. And for those of you who want stronger high notes, be able to mix more consistently, high belt, like this sail, this is essential. So when I refer to the sail, what I'm referring to, the sail refers to the shape and space of your resonance. So when we think of resonance, guys, sound resonates in your body in three places. In your head, so between your brain and your skull and in your sinuses, in your chest cavity, and in what we call your buccal cavity inside your mouth, right? And, the shape of a space determines its resonance, right? So, a squat room has a very dead resonance, has a very dead sound. A tunnel has an echo, right? A giant dome-shaped room has like very live resonance. So the shape of a space affects how the sound bounces around inside that space. And it's the same for your body. But here's the thing. You can't change the shape of your head and your sinuses and your skull. You can't change the shape of your chest cavity, but you can change the shape of your buccal cavity, the inside of your mouth, by what you do with your tongue your jaw, and your soft palate. Okay. And so, this, when we talk about the shape and space of resonance, what we are talking about is your buccal cavity and how it's affected by tongue, jaw, and soft palate. And this is super important because the shape that we create with those things determines the resonance of the sound. And the major, major, major thing that affects the shape and space of our resonance is our soft palate. Jaw and tongue have an effect on what happens to soft palate, so they are involved as well. But our soft palate is the thing that affects the shape and space of our resonance. And your soft palate, that's your sail. That's your sail. Okay, so let's talk about soft palate for a second. Most of you probably know where it is, but just in case you don't, your hard palate is that, if you were to wear a retainer, the hard part, you can run your tongue along your gum ridge in the hard part. If you go further back, you can run the back of your tongue. That's your soft palate. It's what stretches when you yawn. It's what stretches when you kind of sneeze. Okay, so I just want to give you a few touch points to really find the most effective way of tapping into and feeling the optimum shape of soft palate resonance. Because what we want soft palate to do is we want it to expand like a big old, like for those of you in Los Angeles, like the Hollywood Bowl, right? Like a big old like cavern back there. We want the soft palate to be three-dimensional and nice and big and expansive, okay? And so in order to feel that, there's really only two times in day-to-day when you stretch your soft palate, and it's when you yawn and right before you sneeze. So I want you to find a yawn for a second. Find a yawn. So when you yawn, your soft palate stretches. You can feel that space like stretching up and widening between your ears. When you yawn, you also depress your larynx. We do not want to do that when we sing, okay? But to just get in touch with your soft palate and to feel that you stretch soft palate when you yawn. Another feeling that you can use to feel a soft palate stretch is if you can imagine that I have a plate of brownies, like hot, gooey, fudgy brownies that I just took out of the oven, and I hold the pan right under your nose, and you smell those brownies, and they smell really good. Like if you imagine that you're smelling brownies and you breathe a nose breath into a smile, you will feel your soft palate stretch. Try it. Do it. Smell the brownies. Like, do you feel that? It's a feeling of your ears widening away from each other, that stretching out the back and the top of your head. It feels like the top part of the yawn. Another way that you can also feel it is feeling like your molars and your fangs are kind of riding up into your brain as you inhale into a smile. Okay, and so that's those are just little ways for you to help feel that stretch of soft palate. Okay, so when we do that, though, it's not just the space that we're creating that's important, but it's also the shape and the direction that's important. We want the soft palate to stretch up on a diagonal. We don't want it to stretch either back or down. Okay, so a lot of singers come to me and they think that they have a lot of inside sail space. And really, they don't. They're mistaken, because what they're doing is they're actually using their tongue to push their larynx down. So they feel like they have a lot of space, but the space is down here. It's in the wrong direction, and that's pressure on your larynx, which we do not want. Rather, if you smell the brownies, you leave your larynx alone, and you have all of this space up here. We want it to feel like it's a tilt. It's like a diagonal feeling of stretch, okay? So it's not just the amount of space that's important, but where it is. I really want to make sure you guys get that. So part of this, to help you understand it, I really want you to see that like if you look at any singer who knows what they're doing, and you were to take a still picture of them, like mid-sing, mid-high note, any singer who knows what they're doing, they all are going to look like this. Like they're going to look like, right? Okay. And the reason is because that feeling of widening between your ears, a little joy in your cheeks, pulling up on your soft palate, smelling the brownie feeling is what's allowing them to find that shape. So I want to show this to you. I love showing this picture. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I'm going to share my screen so that you can like legit see this in action. Check this out. Okay, check it out. Doesn't matter what genre. Pavarotti, opera singer. Anna Netrebko, opera singer. Leslie Odom Jr., Sutton Foster, Broadway singers. Bruno Mars, Beyonce. Look at them. Look at what they look like. They are all, aha, like right there. They're all high between their ears. They're all tilting that sensation. They're all in that feeling of high sail, high soft palate. And so I'm sharing this with you because it's not that I want you to force, it's really not actually about what's happening here, but it's about when you employ this, it's about what happens inside. And for singers who know how to do this, like, Annie and I can sing, and I don't have to be in like a, ah! I can still be, ah! But I'm still here. I know how to do it without having to like, ah. But for you guys at the beginning, when you're just getting this, that idea of that, what we call the dumb smile. It's kind of the clueless smile, that like clueless person. You guys know the movie Clueless from the 90s with Alicia Silverstone? Like, oh my God, Valley Girl. It's that like, that's the shape that we want you, because when you're in that shape here, your external physiology is, connecting with your internal physiology of your soft palate and the muscles all around it to create that inside tilt and high soft palate, that shape of sail that we really, really want. So hang on, I got to get back to where I was because all I see now is the picture and I want to see you guys. So give me a second. Okay. So right now, the external physiology looking like that, right, is when the internal physiology of your soft palate is nice and high and tilty and stretched. And so while it's new, the easiest way to feel that stretch in the soft palate is to really use the idea of a nose breath into a smile to smell the brownies. But then you have to keep that inside stretch of soft palate over the duration of the phrase while you're singing and not let it fall down. Because that's one of the things that really gets singers who don't know how to utilize this efficiently, is they start in this place once they understand it, but then as the phrase goes, so goes the soft palate, and by the end you're squashed. Okay, so it's an image that I like to give is imagining you have like fish hooks that are just pulling the soft palate over the course of the phrase. Oh, so you don't end up and then everything ends up back in your throat. Okay, so that's your sail, and it is always up when you sing. Always. Doesn't matter head voice, chest voice, doesn't matter what language you're singing, doesn't matter what genre you're singing, okay? Your sail is always up and your anchor is always down. And so that brings me to the second concept for today, which is we are always moving anchor and sail away from each other over the course of the phrase. This is the first way that you are going to employ opposition. Okay? Concept number 2, anchor and sail always moving away from each other. If anchor and sail, and this matters, guys, because if your anchor and sail are moving towards each other, so what that means is if the muscles of support are contracting in and up, those of you who were taught to push in or contract up, right? No, because when that happens, all of the energy down here is moving up towards your larynx and encumbering it from below. And if you drop your sail, all of the energy of that sound is moving down towards the larynx and encumbering it from above. And now you have pressure on the larynx. And this is where we get tension. This is where we get strain. This is where we get pitchiness. This is where we get vocal fatigue. And it's where confidence starts to flag because it doesn't feel good. It's inconsistent. It doesn't sound good. And now you're worried about, oh my God, is it going to come out when I need it? Okay, so anchor and sail always moving away from the midline, from the larynx. So when we want to move everything away from that midline, that opposition of support and resonance space, it creates absolute stability that frees your larynx to vibrate optimally and freely for the biggest impact. And so, again, if you have problems with reliability, consistency, confidence, if you have problems with accessing high notes, pitch intonation issues, problems changing registers through head, through chest, problems mixing, it is because you are not opposing. Your anchor and your sail are moving towards each other, putting pressure on your larynx instead of opposing each other, moving away from the larynx, allowing the larynx to vibrate freely and efficiently up and down your range through all your registers. Or what can often happen is you have one that's consistent, your anchor goes that way, but so does your sail. That's not working for you because now you have pressure from above. Or the opposite happens. Your sail is pretty decent, but so is your anchor coming up in that direction. Okay. So just start to notice in your body. And this can be a little bit like this at the beginning, right? But this is why you have experts, you have people like us, you have coaches to help you to see the potholes you're falling into and make sure that you're embodying it the right way. So one of the best ways to learn and to practice opposition is what we in my tribe call sirening. Okay, so we practice opposing anchor and sail using a siren. And what is a siren? A siren is exactly what it sounds like. Yeah! Woo! Like, that's a siren, okay? And it helps you to start to phonate and vibrate on your support in your resonance space without having the pressure of, a melody or rhythm or words or anything like that, okay? So when we siren, the whole purpose is setting the energetic direction for your sound. So what that means is like that feeling of, and I was working a little bit with Lorraine on this yesterday, of imploding the sound so it comes in and okay, like bringing that sound to you, setting the energetic direction of the sound so it comes and it goes like this. Okay, so first and foremost, practicing sirens, practicing that feeling of supporting and stretching at the same time, moving anchor and sail away from each other. Now, one of the pitfalls is to make sure that your physiology does not go in the direction of the pitch when you siren. So what's super common is one of two things will happen when you're sirening, and you want to be really cognizant of witnessing your body to see if this is what's happening. Number one, this could happen, which is as you descend on a siren, you lose your anchor and your anchor stops going this way and you get, yeah! And then everything goes, right? That's one thing. You could also lose your sail. Yeah! You hear how it gets squashed? Because I lost my sail. Okay. Yeah! Like I'm just raising and lowering my soft palate. Okay. So start to like get acquainted with these two aspects of your body. And as you siren, give yourself that one direction of implode it in and down and down and out and out and out. Okay. So that's sirening. And I really encourage you guys to practice your opposition first on a siren. If you can siren from the top of your range down to the bottom of your range without losing your metaphorical bra that's hooked too big, remember we talked about that yesterday, without losing your buoyancy here, without collapsing, without imploding, if you can siren and keep your container and flow through it, yeah! You notice how my pitch is moving, but I'm nice and consistent here. If you can do that, and if you can siren and not lose your inside space, then what you're ready for is to bridge it into a mamo moo exercise. So we're gonna put syllables on it and we're gonna put a melody to it. But here's the thing, it's still just a siren. So the mamo moo is again just the simple mamo moo scale, mamo moo. But that's really just a siren. Mamo moo. If I'm just sliding, mamo moo. That feeling in my body, that consistency of my apoyo and my lean, and the consistency of my stretch and my feeling of widening between the ears that I can employ on a siren, mamo is no different because I'm changing syllables. Ma moo. Do you notice how I'm still here, high between my ears and in my cheeks? I'm still in my sail. It's just a siren, guys. And then because I'm articulating pitches, it does not change. Ma moo. Now, one thing, when you start to recognize that Mamamoo is just a siren, the one pitfall, the one thing I want you to watch out for, because this will tell you if you're sirening or if you're singing, because most of you, when you go to sing, you go back into all your old habits, okay? Really check and see if there are H's between the notes. Are you getting Mamamoo? Because that tells you you're not sirening. You're doing in your support, as opposed to is the same as Mamamoo. Okay, so bring the siren into the Mamamoo exercise. Connect the dots. Slide between the pitches. I want to hear all the semitones. It might feel at the beginning like lazy articulation. It might feel like it's a little sloppy. That's okay. What we're training your body to do is to not change your anchor and your sail when you change pitch. You are always opposing no matter what. That is our third concept for today. You do not change your anchor and your sail. You do not interrupt it. You do not inhibit it. You are constantly flowing through your anchor and your sail, and you do not change it just because pitch changes, syllables change, articulation changes. You are always opposing anchor and sail no matter what. Did I knock it into you enough? You guys picking up what I'm putting down? Okay, if pitch is changing, if the direction of the melody changes, if the words are changing, doesn't matter. My consistency, that is my anchor and sail always opposing each other. Okay, this is how we build stability, reliability, and consistency. Okay, all right, so who has got a song that you gig with all the time that you know by heart? Maybe it's an audition song. Who would love to volunteer to be a guinea pig to work on opposition? Go ahead and use the raise hand function. It's down at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Looks like a heart. It says react. If you click the heart, you'll see the raise hand function. Who would like to be a volunteer to coach on putting some opposition into their rep? All right, Esther, I see your hand. All right.
Hi.
Hello. How are
I don't
you?
really, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I don't really, I mean, I thought I would just sing somewhere over the rainbow. I
Yeah.
perform just yet.
Yeah. Whatever. Anything. You guys, it really doesn't matter what you sing at this point. The habits are going to show up in anything you sing. So it's all good. Can you do me a favor and can you take like one step of back from your device and tilt it down a little bit so I can just see a little more of you?
Yeah.
Perfect. Back up one like step more so I can see your face. There you go. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, let's just do like we can just do like one verse of it.
Okay. Um, okay. The nerves get in the way. Okay. Well,
Okay.
I'll
So
try.
wait. Hold up. Because you guys, if I don't coach her on that right now, then whatever technique she wants to work on, her body and her brain are not going to absorb it in the same way. Okay. So what's the story that your mind is telling you right now about the situation that's making you nervous?
Um, I just know I have a terrifying fear of failure. And even though when I did perform, both my fears of failure like happened, like I forgot the words and I went, and then the other time I couldn't control my pitch. So I'm like, so I thought that would help my fear of failure, but it still kind of manifests.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
because you guys, these old conditioned mindsets, they die hard. I mean, how long have you been in fear of failure when it comes to singing? How many years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it stems from, I think I have perfectionism too, so that doesn't help. But yeah, major performance anxiety
Mm-hmm.
for many years.
So, Okay. So when we have performance anxiety, when we have fear of failure, right? You guys, this is just the ego mind's way of like trying to prevent you from failing, which is making you hyper vigilant. It's the nerves that it's like, okay, I got to be hyper vigilant so that I don't fail, right? But I'm curious, what if I I said to you, Esther, I dare you to make a bad sound. I triple dog dare you to screw it up and make a bad sound. What would you do? Let's have over the rainbow and literally I dare you to screw it up. Go for it.
Okay. So, wow, see, it doesn't even come out.
Yeah,
Okay,
but you want to know why? Because Esther's brain was working faster than her. I'm sorry, Esther's body was working faster than her brain, and she started to sing before she supported. That's
okay,
all. That's all.
okay.
Okay. So that idea of support before you phonate. So I want you to just break it down for a second. Okay. And I want you to hands on support. Yep. You can be here. Okay. And don't even sing it. I just want you to siren to go back to what we were doing a second ago. Siren the word some. And I want you to support before the S. So what that's going to be is support first and then some. Okay. Just so it's just siren.
Some.
Good. Now, when you start the phrase, usually, are you doing it in a key that would be in chest voice or a key that would be in head voice?
Um, I think it's chest somewhere.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So now, if that's the pitch, we're going to start on some. Okay. So you're still not going to sing, but all you're going to do is siren somewhere, somewhere, and you're going to support before the S, and then you're going to lean into your feeling that we were talking about of your anchor as you siren somewhere, just like that.
Okay. Somewhere.
Okay, good. Now I want you to imagine that it's like a big old, funny joke smile. Like find your big old dumb smile, like we were talking about, and you're gonna siren somewhere, like you just did. But you're gonna breathe into the smile somewhere, and you're gonna be in your sail as you siren. Try it.
How do I be in my sail?
All I want you to do is think widening between your ears. Just visualize your ears
Okay,
and your cheeks widening away from each other.
okay. Somewhere.
Yes, yes. Let yourself go to head voice if that feels intuitive to you, okay? But don't stop your siren. So breathe into that feeling of smile somewhere. Like can you legit feel like the dumbest smiling person right now? Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Uh-huh. Good. So now that's your sail. What does that feel like to you? What do you notice about that?
Um, it's, I think it's hard to find, like smoothly.
Don't worry, I don't care right now about smooth from chest to head. That's a much more advanced concept. Right
Okay.
now, I just want to get you into what the feeling of your high soft palate feels like. So, can you take a nose breath and smell the brownies? Yes. What do you notice? What does that feel like in your mouth?
It feels spacious.
Yes. Does it feel like your molars are kind of riding up into your brain? Do a nose breath again. It's easier to feel at the beginning, guys. It's easier to feel with a nose breath. Yes, yes, yes. Feel your what does that feel like to you? Can you
I
describe it?
think
Is
I
there a
just
shape?
feel like something about the ears. There's just more space. I'm not necessarily feeling the molars kind of.
That's okay. So you
Yeah.
guys, I'm gonna give you like a million different ways to get to the same thing. So you can feel your ears widening away from each other. You can feel your molars riding into your brain. You can feel like you're smelling the brownies. All of these things, one of them will resonate with each of you more than the other. So go with that one because they're all going to get you to the same place. So your job right now is to breathe into that ears widening space. And then you're going to do it on a descending siren on the word where. And you're going to pull on that space and you're not going to lose that space even as you descend the siren. So it's going to be where. Okay.
Okay.
You got it.
Wow.
Yes. Right. So if you're focusing on how do I find it? How do I find it? You're focusing on the wrong thing. You guys, we energy goes where attention flows. If I'm trying to lose weight and I go, don't eat the pizza, don't eat the pizza, don't eat the pizza, I'm still thinking about the freaking pizza, right? As it's like, where is it? I don't know. I can't find it. You're focusing on the thing that makes you feel insecure, as opposed to, remember yesterday we talked about what's the quarter that gets you the gumball, right? So what was the thing I told you that allowed you to feel that? Where?
Was it support?
So it's the support and it's the feeling of your ears widening and continuing to pull on that. So what I want you to focus on is don't worry about what it sounds like. Don't worry about listening to yourself. I dare you to F it up. All your job is right now is let me widen between my ears and engage my support. Where? Try it.
Where?
Good. Now you're going to do that and not just on where, you're going to do it on some and where as though it were one word. Well, it is one word, somewhere. Somewhere.
Okay. Somewhere.
Okay, good. So now, somewhere. Don't make it pretty. Don't show me your beautiful voice. I just want you to siren somewhere. That's it. Anchor and sail.
Somewhere.
Okay. So you didn't siren though. You sang.
Yeah.
And you know how I know that Esther sang? Because she was here. And then she was here and we lost her in between. And if you siren, I'm going to hear somewhere, which is you. Remember, we talked about energetic sound direction. That siren is helping you to teach your body that on that pitch change, you're moving anchor and sail away from each other. Somewhere. Try it.
Somewhere.
Uh-huh. Can you go? Well, first of all, let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the most, how far in your opposition do you feel your anchor and your sail went?
I didn't really feel resonance here. So
Yes. Good. No, that's good, really good awareness because you kind of stopped here and you didn't go here.
yeah.
So take it to 25, Esther. Take it to 25. We can always dial you back. I want you to feel ridiculous right now and you're like, ah, okay?
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. Somewhere.
That was support. That was support. So she supported this note, but because she was focused on here, as she went up, she did this, but this went in the direction of her sail.
Okay.
And this is totally common, guys, when you're learning this, which is why I said it's a little like this, because when you focused here, you lost your support. Okay. So can you just imitate what do we call it? An ambulance for me. Woo, 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 woo. Just imitate. Go for it.
Woo, 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 woo.
Do you notice that when you do that, your body is completely stable? You're in your anchor. Your anchor's not going, and you're in your sail. Your sail is not going like this. You were just, so you guys, her body knows how to do this, and so does yours. But she thinks she needs to sing and somewhere over the rainbow, and now her mind goes, oh shit, into the all I better not fail, and now she's over micromanaging and over trying, as opposed to when I just said, hey Esther, can you just woo woo, and she's like, sure, woo woo, and then boom, there it is. So siren again, and I like the ambulance, and I really want you to notice what you feel. Just witness what your body's doing, because it's good. Do it again. Woo woo woo.
My body sees a difference between some and where, and it feels like it has to pull the soft palate out when it comes to where, but I don't know how to do that when I'm in the sun.
So do you guys remember, I think it was concept number 3 for the day, is that we do not change our anchor in our sail just because we're changing pitch. So Esther, you hit the nail on the head. The reason why it feels difficult is because you're doing one thing on the bottom note. You don't have your sail on the bottom note. And so then you need to change it to bring on the top note. But what if your anchor and your sail were already there on the bottom note and now you're just moving through them as you siren up? So can you be in the chest voice with all that heightened shape that you have in head voice? Some nice big sail. Can you try it? Get
Some.
higher. Some. Almost like it's an A vowel. Some. Yeah, you want to
Some.
go this way, saw, and I want you to go saw. Like air out your fangs, pull your ears up into your brain, pull your cheeks up behind your eyes, like overdo it, like you feel the most ridiculous, like ah,
Okay.
like you're gonna bite an apple. Ah, some.
Some.
That's it. What does that feel like to you? Is there a shape and
Oh,
an image?
yeah, it just felt like I had that spaciousness,
Okay.
like for the resonance to bounce more.
Yes. So she needs to start with that and end with that. So it's always there. Somewhere. Sa. Can you do sa?
Ah.
Okay, your sail is really good. Your anchor needs to go lower in order for you to get to that top pitch and it not be flat. Okay, so you have a
Okay.
fantastic anchor sail now, and I want you to now root your anchor down and visualize your pelvic floor going all the way through your feet and the floor and your like roots all the way down. Sa.
Okay. Ah.
You're like this close. The only difference with you is now implode instead of explode. Your job is not to try to get up to that note. The note lives down between your legs. Can you visualize? It's like a pendulum. This is holding the top part of the pendulum, and now your pelvic floor and your lower obliques are going to like descend like an elevator all the way lower, 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 lower than you are used to going. We can always dial you back. So really 25,000 down into the ground. So, I mean, you could probably see, I'm going to exaggerate. Watch my support. So, you see this? Da. But what I'm doing is I'm not thinking out. I'm thinking root down, root down, root down, and it engages these muscles. So see what happens if you can go to 25.
Is it a gradual push down? Because I noticed like my pelvic floor like pushed even more when the high note, and that just happened naturally. Are we like pushing it down kind of gradually, or just like
Yes, you want to get into it sooner and use it more gradually. You don't use it enough and then you try to kick it at the end.
yeah?
Okay?
Okay,
So
okay.
try it again. You're doing great.
Some.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
you're
think I
still
have
trying to
to hear
sing. Don't sing. I don't want you to sing. I just want you to siren to the top of whatever is comfortable in chest voice. Sa.
Some.
Yes. What did that feel like to you? What did you notice
Um,
about your body,
it
especially
still
your pelvic floor?
it still kind of felt like the resonance wasn't quite there.
Okay, but you're still in chest. So you're gonna
Oh,
feel
okay.
you're not gonna feel it here because you're not in head. You're in
Okay.
chest. But
Okay.
you were able to get much higher in your chest voice without it being tense, without it being flat, without it being strained, because the energy of the sound is anchored here and here. And so there's no ceiling encumbering you here. Okay. So now I just want you to siren again. Don't make it pretty. Don't sing. Somewhere. That's it. Into that 25,000 that you were feeling.
Okay. Somewhere.
Yes. Okay. So now you know what it feels like to go that far. Okay. Your body has always been able to do this, but it's almost like you didn't realize you could go there. So now to continue the phrase as you practice this, you have to continue. It doesn't just stop on the where. Somewhere over the rainbow. Like keep pulling on it and don't worry about making it pretty. It's just going to make you nervous. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, good. Awesome. Yes. Oppose, oppose, oppose. Well done, Esther. All right.
Thank
Who
you.
who else would like to play with this? And I'm gonna unleash Coach Annie on you in a second. Who else wants to play with opposition? Yes, Rich. Hey, Rich. How are ya?
Hello.
Good to see ya. Thanks.
Good to see
Glad
you.
to see you volunteering. Okay. So do you have a couple bars of something?
I do.
All right. What is it?
Kiss from a Rose by Seal.
Okay. I love that song. Do you want to, is there a particular part, like the chorus or something that gets sticky for you?
I was just going to start on the beginning of it because there's like the third line, there's a pretty high note.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right. There used to be a great tower alone on the sea. You became the light on the dark side of me. Love remains a drug that's the high, not the pill.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to unleash Coach Annie now. And then
Okay.
you're going to get both Annie and I getting our hands in your clay.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, well, first thing I want to point out, did you notice that when you actually got to that high note moment, that actually happened pretty easily for you? That high note came out easily?
It was very
Okay,
free. Yes.
okay. And so here's the reason, because your body knows that, like, for me to do that note, I must really be in the full scope of my sail. Like that parachute was fully open, and you were also in your support. And when you're in the easier parts of the song, the lower parts of the
Yeah.
song, you're not doing that.
Right. I could feel that.
Right. So let's back it up.
Okay.
And before you start, like very similar to Esther, you kind of jumped in
I
before
did.
you had set your body and your mind together.
And I knew it as soon as I did it.
What was your
That's
tell?
cool,
What was
man.
your tell? Wait, Rich, what was your tell?
Because I started singing and I was like, shit, I didn't do the thing. I didn't set myself up. So,
But how did you know? How did you know?
because the notes weren't where they needed to be and I didn't feel the column, of air.
Yep.
Right. So I loved how as you went along, you found your hands on your body because you were trying to reiterate to yourself, this is where I want to be. So I'm
Hmm.
going to invite you to, like, you're going to go again. You're going to put your hand exactly where it was. It was in the perfect spot. I want you
Okay.
to really take a moment as you inhale and feel these two things pulling away from each other before you start to sing. And let's see
Okay.
how it happens differently.
Okay. Yeah, now I'm going to think about it too much though. All
Okay,
right.
so right now it's just about coming inside of your body and creating this feeling of these two things pulling away from each other. It's not about sounding great.
Okay.
That's all it
Yeah.
is.
Sounds good. There used to be a great tower alone on the sea. You became the light on the dark side of me. Love remains a drug that's the high, not the pill.
Okay, good. How did you feel about that?
It was better than the first time, but still not great.
So I'm, like, in agreement with you that we took a step forward, but yes, there is farther to go.
Sure.
So one of the things that one of these, I mean, there's so much information that came today if you're new to this work, but one of the things that Arden mentioned was that it doesn't matter what the pitch is doing. If the pitch is staying the same, going down, going up, we want to keep moving through these feelings. And what I notice is that, oh gosh, the melody's going right out of my head right now. But like the moment that the pitch rises, this energy stopped going this way and started
Okay.
to come up in the direction with the pitch.
Okay.
So can we just isolate like that first phrase where pitch starts to move so we can really kind of get in a little bit deeper with that
Sure.
and
Okay.
reset that feeling?
Okay.
Can you
All right.
demonstrate that line where it starts to move?
There used to be a great tower alone on the sea.
Right. So I'm going to invite you to really slide down and out into that word
Okay.
tower, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Just go a little bit slower so
Sure.
that you have time to feel what your body is doing while you're making sound.
Okay. There used to be a great tower alone on the sea. You became the light on the dark side of me. Love remained a drug that's behind out the pill.
This is so much better. This is so
It
much
felt better.
Rich.
It felt better.
Okay, so wait, now I'm gonna take everything that Annie just gave you, because you're doing a really good job of implementing, like you're asking your body to do these things, and it is. So I'm gonna give you one more idea,
Okay.
which is the high note is not the most important note.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because your body it still wants to, you're moving along, you're increasing gently, and then we get to a pitch rise and it wants to whack. At least now it's whacking it in the right direction.
Yeah.
But
It doesn't need to do that.
It doesn't, you guys.
Yes, I understand.
And what I would like for you to do, you guys, when we come to something that feels like either the difficult part or the part that needs more, it's not wrong for your body to want to support that note more. It does need more support. But most of you, what you do is you wait until the ninth hour right before that note, and then you increase like 90%. Instead of, we always want to be looking at what's happening before, in the phrase before that note. And I want you to be really cognizant of increasing like much more gradually, so that when you get to the high note, you only need to increase 10% more, but you've been increasing 10%, 10%, 10%, 10% over the course of the entire phrase.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Can you try that?
I can sure try it. Yep. Yeah.
Wait. Why did I stop you? Do you know?
Because I jumped right in. I didn't set myself up. Yes. Okay.
But guys, this is a mindset thing, okay? It's not like he doesn't intellectually understand what we're asking him to do. He does, okay? But there's something in the mindset that if we don't address it, his body's going to keep doing this, and he will keep sabotaging himself away from the results that he really wants.
Yeah.
So tell me, Rich, what is the story that your mind is telling you in that moment that makes you go, bah, 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 bah?
Just go, it's, yeah. Well, and so part of my problem is when I sing, I'm also playing guitar. So a lot of times I'm focused on that. And, I had too many things going on to put it all together. So.
Okay. So this is where I'm going to give you, remember, we talked about energetic sound direction. Okay?
Yep.
But your energy starts before you've even breathed, before you've even started the note. Okay. So this is where I'm going to give you the idea of, I get to take up time and space.
Okay.
This is my stage.
Okay.
This is my song. This is, when I step on a stage, what goes through my head every single time is, this is my house. This is my stage. This is my time. You will wait for me.
Okay.
Seriously, like I have to set myself up, because otherwise the natural people pleaser in me, right? And we all have tendencies in our mindset that have been conditioned. The natural people pleaser in me goes to, oh my God, they're all waiting for me. Oh, Annie's waiting for me. Oh, the conductor's waiting for me. Oh, I better, okay. And now I have sabotaged my body away from the consistency that was otherwise there for me.
Sure.
So take your space. Take your time.
Okay.
It's yours. We will wait.
Okay. There used to be a great tower alone on the sea. You became the light on the dark side of me.
Okay, good. I want to stop you in the interest of time. The first phrase was fantastic.
Okay.
Second phrase, you remain. It's the highest note in the phrase. Ba, 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 ba. It's a descending phrase. And so your body came out the gate wanting to push air to push that note out, instead of imploding that and bringing that phrase to you, right?
Okay.
But that goes back to the mindset idea. This is your stage. Bring the audience to you.
Okay.
They will come if you do
Okay.
that. Okay. So can we just go right on that phrase? And I want you to set it up and then I want you to implode. You remain. Okay.
Okay. You became. Yeah, I'm in the wrong.
Right, but physiologically, guys, this is what's happening. His ribs and the lower part of his container is coming in, and we're getting you. I'm exaggerating, but that's what's
Yep.
happening. Okay, so
Okay.
can you put the you? So instead of putting your hand here, because that gets you a little in your shoulder.
Yeah.
I'd rather you find your lat this way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
there
easy
you
to
go.
look at.
And then other hand on your oblique, okay? And just
Okay.
relax your shoulders. Let your shoulder blades slide down your back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Good.
Okay.
Now find that back body breath. Find that breath into your back. Yes. You feel how you set up that container?
Yeah. Yep.
When you go for the U, put the U in the container, butt it into that hand, into
Okay.
that container, okay? Try it.
Okay.
It's a siren. It's an imploded siren. That's all it
Okay.
is.
You became the light on the dark side of me. Love remain a drug that's the high, not the pill. Oh, I lost it
Yeah.
right there on pill.
Yeah, the only reason you didn't actually lose it on pill, you lost it a little before because
Okay.
instead of you having one send of anchor and sail through the whole phrase, you started each note had its own anchor and sail, but then when you pull off it, you leak air. And you do
Okay.
that enough times, each time you leak, that's the air that would have sustained you.
Yeah, sure. I get it.
But Rich, that was so much better on the entrance of those higher pitches.
Okay.
What did that feel like to you in your body? Would you notice?
Yeah, again, it felt more free. It felt like I had more room to do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
And what's the distinction for you about how you were using your body to get that? How are you going to find this again in your own practice?
sure. Well, I'm hopefully going to eventually get to the point where I'm not thinking so much about all of this and it just comes natural. So,
Yeah. But that comes with conditioning and with practice.
mhm.
Right now, see, before you guys, Rich's body was working really hard, like an accordion, to try to get all that in and out of it, right? And his
Yeah,
brain wasn't really doing anything. Now, your brain is working, but your body's way more efficient. So I would rather have your brain be working right now than your body in inefficiency. Okay.
sure. Okay.
And again, we talk about, conditioning the intention. When you asked your body to do it, Rich, it did very well. So your work now is in practicing the how. Remember, we talked about that you practice doesn't matter.
Yep.
How you practice matters. So
Right.
when you go practice this song, what you're practicing is what quarter am I putting in that's getting me the gumball?
Sure.
Oh, what I'm doing is I'm finding my container first, and then I'm in it before I even phonate. Oh, I'm consistent throughout the phrase with my lean. I'm not kind of leaning and then whacking the high note, right? These are the intentions that when you give your body that direction, Rich, it works. It works. And
I
then
felt it.
yeah. And then the mindset of, I get to take up.
Yeah. Yeah. Understood.
This is what's all working in tandem, that in literally 10 minutes, the song sounds like a completely different song. Well
Okay.
done.
Thank
Give
you.
Rich a hand.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. We have, all right, I think we might have time to coach one more at the end. Thank you to Coach Annie for lending us her mojo. She coaches in our vocality lab. She coaches in our intensive training program. She's got hands on all the singers in our programs, along with me, bringing you guys to results. Awesome. Okay. So, thank you to both Rich and Esther. Now, I see we have a special guest who's joined us today. Before we get to her, I want to make sure you understand what your practice homework is for tonight. So you're going to practice your opposition with your sirens. You're going to use the siren exercise. You're going to use the Mamo Moo MP3 that you have to practice those with your new opposition tools. And then you also have a thought exercise tonight to prepare for tomorrow's session. Again, it's thought exercises like a journaling exercise to help you get under the hood and understand the thinking going on behind the singing. And so tonight's thought exercise is understanding why you sing the way you do. And it's you guys, like, it's so interesting when we understand the motivations and the things that have conditioned us into the beliefs and the actions, and then the results that we end up getting when we get on stage or we get in the recording studio. So that's your practice homework for tonight. Again, if you've attended one of our prior masterclass series and you've done this before, you have more awareness now. Go deeper this time. Approach the technique exercises and the thought exercise with a new intention from the awareness that you have now. And if you're watching this on the replay, the homework link is in your masterclass workbook for day 3. If you haven't done this before, approach it with beginner's mind. Okay. All right. Now let's get to our special guest. So I have invited a very special singer here to talk with you guys today because she really knows what it's like to play small and hold herself back in her voice and in her singing career. And she has a ton of gold to share with you today about what has allowed her to have amazing breakthroughs to free her voice and her mindset and claim what's possible. And she's one of my very favorite singers on the planet. She is an intensive training program grad who not that long ago was literally sitting right where you are, struggling with so many of the same issues that we've been coaching on for the last few days. And within 6 months of finishing our program, she went from a corporate job to making a full-time income from doing this work as a singer. She's a mom. She's also a grandma. So if you think your goals are not possible, just listen to her. Some of you may know her as your workshop concierge because our community means so much to her. This is how she gives back. So I invite her to share her experience with you, the things that have really moved the needle for her the most in her skill set, in her mindset, in hopes that you will get a nugget that you can take with you and use to completely change the outcomes of your singing journey, just like she did for hers. So please welcome Amy DeLuca. Amy! Welcome.
Hi.
Hey, hey.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Great to be here.
I'm so happy that you continue to show up to this tribe in all the ways that you do. So I would love it for those who don't know you, if you could start by sharing with everybody what was going on with your voice and your singing career before working in the intensive training program, and how were you feeling?
Well, I was a mess, to be quite honest, to be blunt. And I had just been laid off from a corporate job, and I could see my singing career slipping away. I really had no clue what steps to take next. And not only that, but I was collecting unemployment, and I thought, oh my gosh, I only have so many months left. What am I going to do? I don't want to go back to corporate. I was absolutely miserable. And then I'm like, but I have to do something, but I don't know what to do. So, and my marriage was really strained from it, me being depressed, the financial hardships that we were facing, just the not knowing. But I knew that there was something bigger and greater for me. I just didn't know who or what it was until I came across an Instagram video that I saw of Arden. And it was like ding, 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 like spirits like, hello, contact her. So I listened, and when I had my call with Arden, I was a wreck.
What were some of the things, if you don't mind sharing, that were going
Sure.
on with your singing or not going on with your singing at the time?
Well, I maybe had a gig every other month at best, and I was inconsistent. I would, I'm also a worship leader at my church, so there would be weeks where I would feel confident and I would be able to hit the notes, our high notes. And then the week after the same song, I wouldn't be able to with ease. And I couldn't identify what worked one week and what's not working now. So there was that. There was also the mindset. Woo! Oh boy, that mindset. That inner critic was just kicking my ass, to be blunt. And the perfectionism, the whole perfectionism thing too, that I know most, if not all of us, have suffered from at one time or another. And I am a recovering perfectionist because there are still times when I catch myself. And just not feeling like I was worth it. There's the lack of worthiness, and also this feeling like I had to prove myself.
Well,
And
because
that came.
how long had you been
Mhm.
working towards a singing career in a professional way and still not seeing results and not at that point?
25 years.
Okay, that's right.
You
Yeah.
know, and I was in musical theater, and I've been in an actress as well, but singing has always been my real baby. um so I just I knew that I needed a change, and as soon as I spoke with Arden, it was as if all of it, I look at it like Swiss cheese. You know how Swiss cheese has holes? Arden filled all of those holes and then some.
Well, and you had had other training in the past. You had had a ton of
Yes.
other training in the past. And so, like, what was so significantly different in terms of that training versus coming into this tribe and filling the holes, as it were, for you? Because I know a lot of singers in here have had a lot of traditional training and still feel probably similar to how you were feeling.
Well, I was classically trained for 10 years, and then I actually worked with Taylor Swift's vocal coach for on and off for about 15 years. Um, what I noticed was their focus was purely technique and placement. There wasn't, oh, you're pushing, or um, there was there was a lot of, oh, you have to use your body to get the sound out by manipulating my body to push or lean or do just all kinds of contortions just to get the sound out. But when I took the Arden's intensive, not only did she address those those issues, for lack of a better word, but there was a whole other realm of information that I didn't even know about. Mindset, huge. Didn't realize that the body responds to what the mind tells it, you know, and just the meditation and the thought exercises and the one-on-one coaching and the tribe and the support that I had, like almost I feel like 24/7. And to see that we were all in the group, sharing a lot of the same issues, a lot of the same, um, I guess I'm trying to figure out the word. A lot of the same painful
Like
circumstances.
old saboteurs.
Yes.
Old saboteurs in the technique. I mean, I you guys, okay, so if you guys ever have the opportunity to hear Amy sing, and Amy has now sung in some incredible, like, one of her major drivers and massive goals is to sing in, like, I don't know what you would call it, like the major worship, like, conventions in front of thousands, leading,
Mhm.
Christian music and recording and everything. And she did that just a few months ago for the very first time. Like, she was brought in to sing at this massive worship thing, which was one of her specific goals. And that's one of the things, like, when she came into work with us, it's like, okay, what do you want to be celebrating a year from now? Like, what are we doing this for? What's your why? What's your big why?
Mhm.
And what are we doing to create that, to help that, right? So Amy has this incredible voice, and if you ever have the chance to hear Amy sing, she is
Oh, thank you.
amazingly, like, just powerful sound. And it was killing her, the way she was creating it, because it was completely stuck in her throat. It was all born out of forcing, pushing, tension, because what she said, she had something to prove.
Yeah.
She had some there was a piece that it was, I'm not good enough, and so I got to force this to show you and prove to myself and to you that I'm good enough.
Yep.
And unpacking all of that, through the process that we do, at least in our program, which is a lot of the work that you guys are starting to kind of get a little, like, taste of here in the workshop. It is now that Amy is, it's not just that she's standing on the big stages of her dreams, but it's that the way that she's creating the sound is actually sustainable and it actually feels good. So that now, as a professional singer, and how many gigs do you do a month now?
I want to say 10 to 15.
Yeah. And at the rate that she's getting paid, that now she doesn't have to go back to corporate. I mean, I would love for you to speak a little bit more to that story, because I think there are a lot of people in here who think that's impossible. Like you can't make a full-time living as a professional singer. It's unrealistic. I'm too old. I
Mhm.
wouldn't know how to begin. Like, so can you just like from somebody who is at your stage of life, I think incredibly inspirational. So what are some of the beliefs, the things that made a huge difference for you in that journey from, okay, I'm not going to go back to corporate. I'm claiming what I want and I'm going after this full time.
Well, I will say it wasn't easy. I came up against so many what seemed like impossible walls that were like iron that I felt like I could not get through because of these blocks thinking, I'm not good enough. How am I going to do this? Always the hows, the hows, the hows. And I made the decision. I'm like, this is it. I feel like I've been gifted this time, not only with, not having to be in corporate, but to fully focus 100% of my time on creating the life that I want, creating the dream that I want instead of making someone else's dream come true, like the people at the corporate job. So I pounded the pavement. I made through Arden's help, and I'm telling you, she lit a fire under my tushy because I told her to, and I needed it. And I did all the groundwork, looking online. I started out with, assisted living facilities. And believe it or not, they are highly lucrative. And I did not know that. And I was, I'm gigging for sometimes 5 days a week doing that. And that's not including my duo stuff. That's not including the worship stuff. That's not including anything like that. So and I get to be my own CEO. I get to be the one to choose. I want to do these songs. I want to do it like this. I want to do it like that, blah, 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 blah. I don't have to listen to anybody else. I get to do and create whatever I want, and I get to make it as big as I want. And there is such power in that, and learning how to be a businesswoman and stating my worth when I'm quoting my price, and when I get pushback, it's like, well, I know what to say now
Mm.
because of Arden and Judy, who is the mindset coach.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
But the
Did I
most
answer that
powerful
all
thing
wrong?
is, yeah, but the most powerful thing that like
Yeah.
is that through all of that, you've held the vision of the more elite gigs, the more elite, and
Yes.
now it's starting to happen. You were hired by the new band who's like touring all around, the place and doing
Yes.
these super, these worship gigs that has been on your heart for a really long time in front of
Yeah.
tens of thousands of people. And so what would you say are some of the biggest ahas, biggest beliefs that have allowed you to shift into the career, the person, the money, the opportunities that you have now from where you started?
Well, that I meant to do this, that this is for me, I'm a highly spiritual person, so I don't know for all of you people out there who believe in God, spirit, I JC is my dude, but I'm more spiritual. Um, this is my calling. This is I must. This is a must for me. I must fulfill the gifts that I've been called to do, and I feel like thank you, Gloria. I see you clapping. So, no, I'm sorry, I lost my
No,
train of
you were
thought.
saying
Pardon.
it's okay. You were saying it's a must because
Yeah,
when you and I had our call initially, and I think I asked you like, what would your life be like if the next 5 years looks exactly like the last 5 years, and the next 10 years looks exactly like the last 10 years, and what would be your biggest regret? It's getting. I forget exactly how you answered that, but I mean, you probably know better than I do, but there's costs and consequences to
yeah.
either to staying where you are or to taking an inspired risk. And so what are some of the beliefs that you have owned in order to be able to take these inspired risks, if you don't mind sharing with everybody?
Oh gosh, let's see. Well, besides that, this is my must. that I believe that I am made to sing. I believe that I am called to do great things and that my voice is that thing, to share my music with the world,
Mhm.
to bring, you know, to bring the message, to bring messages of hope and love and joy through music to everyone. Um, Stepping into my power, and owning it. Like, I'm a badass rock star and I'm going to own that. I'm not going to play small anymore because of so and so and this person or my mother or fill in the blank. Like, I'm standing in that and it feels amazing. And I want that for all of you.
Well, and remember, guys, what we talked about on the first day about impact, right? Impact equals income. And as Amy, and I know that, it's very easy as artists to say, well, it's not about the money, it's not about the money, but it's also not about the money.
Right.
Because you like, do you, for those of you who are grinding away at a job that you hate, and you're trying to fit in time for your music, and you're trying to fit in time to play and to record and to do all, and it's like you're depleted, you're completely, because you have to spend a lot of your time, like Amy said, making somebody else's company and dream come true, and that's really hard, right? And so when I say it's also not about the money, impact equals income. And to speak to what Amy was talking about, when we helped her to really own her mind body connection, to get past the limiting beliefs and the stories and the traumas that were convincing her that it was safer to play small than it is to step into what she really wants. All of those things, you guys, created an incredible amount of impact that she's able to now create in the shows that she does, in when she's being got her CEO of her music business hat on, both on stage and off. And now she makes more money as a singer than she did in her crappy corporate job. But she kept using the word, I don't know if you guys noticed this, I had to decide. She kept using the word, you keep using the word decision. So can you speak to that decision? What was the decision for you, Amy?
The decision was, it's now. There. Let's see. Well, the decision was, I must do this now. I'm deciding, I'm choosing me. This supersedes anything and anyone else. I'm choosing myself. And I want to speak to the mothers of the group too, because I was a very young mom, very young, and I had to put my acting and my singing career on hold for years. And that it was heartbreaking,
It
but I
cost you.
felt like I had no other recourse and I had to work and I was a single mom. So it was tough. It was really tough. And for the first time in my life, when I met Arden, that was the first time I chose me. It didn't matter what my husband said, because that's a whole other story.
Amy's
When
husband was like, Amy was seriously afraid her husband was going to divorce her.
he was. I seriously, yes. And now he literally is like worshiping Arden's feet and he's thanking her all the time. Oh my God, I have my wife back, because I was so miserable. I was so miserable and depressed and hopeless. Like, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Sit on the sofa, watch, Netflix, binge on Netflix and wondering and waiting and wishing and hoping. Oh,
Right. And
let's see, what am I going to
turning on the
do?
TV and watching somebody else on that stage when you know it should be you.
Exactly.
That's a very specific brand of hell that I think most of you live in. I'm
Yes,
not kidding. It
it is.
sucks to know that you have the gift, you have the talent, but either you haven't had the right tools or the right support, or you haven't fought for it. And so, Amy, what did it look like to fight for it?
Well, it started with our phone call.
Mm-hmm.
It really did. And I made that decision then and there that I was going to choose me and invest in me. I didn't care. Well, I cared, but I didn't care enough. I cared more about me and my future and my career than playing small, living in lack, having that mindset that didn't serve me. So I literally paid for the intensive on the phone with Arden. I knew that if I had hung up, there's no way in hell I would have done it. Plus, my husband would have talked me out of it. not only that, but I was literally texting him while I was on the phone with her saying, "Hey, by the way, I'm doing this thing. Please forgive me." And that did not go well. I'm gonna tell you that. He wanted to separate in this whole thing. And that was a whole other thing. I think 2 days after I signed up, I'm like, Arden, I don't know if I can do this. But I did it.
I remember that call, and it was me being Amy. I have never met a spouse, a husband, a wife who was angry when their partner was living as the highest and best version of themselves, making a full time living, doing what they love. He might be a little pissed now, but trust me, he will be tickled pink in a couple months. So,
Yes.
but Amy had to hold. She had to hold that and go beyond the discomfort. I
Hmm.
say to you guys all the time, Amy has heard me say this to her, like those singers, you guys, everything you want is just on the other side of your comfort zone. And so if you want to stay comfortable, that's cool. That's your decision. You'll stay where you are, and everything will continue to look like it does now. But if you want something different, you got to be willing to do something different. And so that's why I wanted to bring Amy on here today, because she is just an incredibly inspiring example of somebody who was willing to go beyond her comfort zone. And what has she created because of it is just, I mean, Amy, I know you so well. Your life looks eons different today than it did a year ago.
Completely.
A year ago.
Completely. It's just unbelievable. And I will say too that my husband was so inspired by my growth that he started growing more in his own work. He's a massage therapist. So it creates a ripple effect. It's not just in my singing, it's in every aspect of my life has changed
Well, because
dramatically.
when you have a gift and you have a purpose and you are not living it, it degrades your energy with respect to everything else that you do. And when you start to live in that light, when you start to cultivate that purpose, when you get the support that you need to step into the highest and best version of yourself, then everything, every other interaction cannot help but be shifted and transformed. And so while yes, this is about your singing, no, it's not. It's about the domino effect that then happens when you are actually standing up and planting your flag for who you are meant to be and what you are meant to do. And Amy, thank you for just being such a light in our community and all you give back through our workshops, to all of our being concierge, to so many of the singers in here. So, so thrilled for you to be here. Thank you for your time.
You're so welcome. My pleasure. Love to
And
you all.
it's amazing, amazing. And you guys, I want to open your mind to what's possible. We're so good at looking at what we don't have, what we can't do, what we think is impossible. And we don't stop to look at, well, wait a second. This thing else is possible too. And like, think about you guys for the last 3 days. Already so many of the ahas and the ways in which your thinking and your singing has been shifted just from the last few days. So many aha moments. And so let me show you now how I can help you to really bring this full circle. You now have some really game changing tools and awarenesses to go out there and be a whole lot more successful on your own, with more consistency, with a bigger mindset that supports you. And so, if you're comfortable with the trial and error of going through the rest of the process of embodying and implementing and figuring it out as you go with all these new tools and trying out lots of different things until you get the results that you want, then I want to encourage you to get out there as soon as possible with all of these tools. Or if you're the kind of person who likes to follow an exact blueprint, who wants an A to Z roadmap for maximizing your impact and your potential, to have expert eyes and ears on you to tell you what to do, how to do it, make sure that you're doing it right and that you're not going to fall into the potholes, and that's going to get you a repeatable, predictable result in your voice, then the program that Amy's talking about, the intensive training program, is probably for you. So that's the program that she's trained in. And what the intensive program is, it's an all-in-one holistic training approach to your journey of your singing that addresses your technique, your mindset, and your artistry all together 360 so that you know how to access the full potential of your voice to unleash that power, the full potential of your talent, of your energy to stand out from the competition so that you go out there, you act on your own behalf, and you land these elite opportunities that you want and you keep them coming. So in the intensive, through our time together, you'll have a higher level of reliability because that's what we're really going for. Reliability, consistency, trust in your technique so that you know it is showing up for you no matter what, where your body is working for you, not against you. Singing in a way that it doesn't just sound good, guys, but it feels good. Like those of you who have been a guinea pig and volunteered the last few days, it feels good when you do it right. Like it doesn't feel like you're trying so hard. To speak to Rich, you're thinking, but it feels easier. And you guys, that ease is available to you because the best sound is also the sound that feels the best. Also, being able through the program to gain that freedom and stamina instead of tension, strain, fatigue. So you get consistently better results from your auditions, your performances, your recordings. No more putting in all this time and work and money and not seeing the results that you want. Because then you'll finally own your sound. Tap into your confidence. Know your own unique voice. What is my lane? What is my sound? What is, I think a lot of singers feel I don't really know what my unique sound is. I can be a good parrot, right? But you're not going to be successful being a parrot. We have a Pavarotti. We have a Beyonce. What we don't have is you, right? So what do you do? Owning your sound, what you do that nobody else does. Your special sauce that sets you apart from all the other singers. And which is actually what we're going to be training on later on this week, tomorrow and the next day. So definitely show up to that. But you guys, can you imagine not having that sinking feeling anymore of like always being the bridesmaid, right? No more of that like putting yourself out there and getting just close, but not being where you want to be. No more of that longing, the frustration, the disappointment, the anxiety of watching, like I said just a minute ago, watching somebody else up there on that stage getting the opportunities you want while you're stuck at the same level you've been at for ages, or God forbid, still stuck on the bench. But instead, imagine like it's your curtain call. Imagine walking into the stage door and seeing your name on the dressing room door. I will tell you guys, the first time I walked into San Francisco Opera, this is 20 something years ago, and I saw my name on the dressing room door, it was like, oh, like, wow. You know what I mean? There's nothing like it. Like imagine walking into a grocery store and hearing your song playing on the radio. That has also happened to me. My daughter was 1 year old. She was sitting in the basket and we're going through Ralph's on La Brea. For those of you in Los Angeles, Ralph's on La Brea and my song on the radio. And I was like, and I took out my phone and I'm like, Mom, you guys, it is the coolest thing when you see the reap the fruits of all of your labor in a way that just is like, God, I did that, Imagine walking onto the biggest stage of your life, like Amy did just recently, and looking out into the crowd and thinking, I did this. I fought for this. I did this. Because let's think about it. What's it really costing you not to own that big life that you want with your voice and your talent and be able to do the thing that would get you there right now? It's costing you time, guys. Time. That is the one non-renewable resource that we are all given. You cannot get your time back. How much time have you lost on the hamster wheel that you've each individually been on? 2 steps forward, 2 steps back with your voice, not getting the breakthroughs to where you want to be. You get a little nibble and then it's like crickets for another 2 years. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Do you want to lose another year, God forbid, another decade doing the same things and just getting the same results that are keeping you stuck? And then all of a sudden, you're at the end of your life and you're looking back in that regret and that sadness of wondering, like, what if? Wondering, who would I have been? And what could I have done if I'd really fought for my gifts? Really fought for it in a different way. Guys, it's costing you time. It's costing you opportunities. It's costing you income. It's costing you impact. And while those things are frustrating, to me, they're not the real cost. What is it really costing you not to own your voice? Like, type it into the chat. What is it really costing you to continue to be stuck, to continue to be the bridesmaid, never the bride? What is it costing you to have to sit on the sidelines and watch the same people get the gigs and it's not you? Tell me, what is it costing you not to own your voice? Laura, it's costing my confidence. Yeah. And how are you going to go after what you want without that? How are you going to show up if you're single on a date? Costing impact. Yeah. Legacy. All of these things. Costing Ashley freedom to be me. That's huge. Are you showing up to your kids as a shell of yourself? Did they not know the light that's in you? Costing you your potential. Yes, Colleen. Joy. Yes. What is it going to be like to have to walk through the rest of your life without the freedom to know that you can tap into that joy anytime you want, anytime you open your mouth, and you're not worried? Whether you perform or whether you don't, whether you making money at it or whether you don't. Okay? So you guys, yes, this is about your singing, but no, it's not. What is it really costing you to have a gift and constantly feel like you're hitting that ceiling when all you want to do is live it to its fullest potential? What is it really costing you to have to accept a B- career when you know you have an A+ talent? What is it really costing you not to own your voice? So that's what we're doing here, guys. Giving you the ability to step fully into the gift that you were given and do what you were put here to do in whatever that looks like for you. Okay, for Annie, it looks like getting on stage in Pacific Opera, or for Carnegie Hall, or not Carnegie Hall, the other one.
Radio City Music Hall.
Radio City. I always freaking mix Carnegie Hall and Radio City up. Like 400 performances of Fiona in the National Equity Tour of Shrek, right? And for somebody else, it looks like, doing recording and getting hundreds of thousands of plays on Spotify to get your lyrics and your message out there. Whatever it looks like for you guys. That's what we're here to do, is fully step into that gift. And so to do that, there's really 4 pillars involved in the intensive training program. It's a 4-month intensive program. The first pillar is your technique accelerator. Make sure there's no gaps in the technique and rapidly help you to nail down technical mastery. It's your breath support and it's your resonance. And we deep dive into both of these, where you're teaching game-changing, high-level technique that ensures the consistency, reliability, eliminates tension, strain, bad habits really quickly. This is the bedrock of your ability to go out there and tap into the full potential of your voice when it counts, every single time, with full confidence and impact, no matter what. So you can go out there and start hitting your career goals. And then you're not in the disappointment. You're not in the feeling of lack, feeling of I'm not good enough, looking back and wondering, where did my gift go? The second pillar, guys, is unleashing your unique artistry. Most vocal coaches, they only teach technique, which is why their clients are not getting paid and not getting hired. And we're going to take you through a really powerful process to immediately tap you into your unique energy, your unique sound, and show you how to unleash that for maximum impact and performance, so you're the one they want to remember. You're the one they want to cast. You're the one whose record they want to listen to over and over and over again. And then the third pillar, if you can guess, is mindset. It's a blueprint for mastering your mindset. And this is another piece that traditional vocal training does wrong, or not even wrong. They don't do it at all, and that's mindset. And I will continue to hit on mindset until the cows come home, because every other coach out there is training you from the neck down, and they leave out the one part of your body that can and will sabotage everything else if it's not trained, and that's your mind. Your body cannot do what your brain is sabotaging, and you cannot do either of the first 2 pieces of this. You can't build technical mastery. You can't unleash your unique artistry if you're being sabotaged by what's going on in your head, both on stage and off, that you don't even realize. And so with this blueprint, we teach you advanced professional mindset strategies, so you will perform to your potential 100% of the time, because we have taught you how to get out of your own way. And then finally, the last piece of this is world-class support, because I can see how much this matters to so many of you, and how passionate you are, and you have been out there and you've been doing everything you know how to do. And I know that if you could have fixed this stuff on your own by now, you would have. And this is honestly where most training programs drop the ball. They either hand you a bunch of information and they leave you on your own to figure out how to do it, or if they do give you support, it's minimal and you waste a lot of time between lessons. Number one, not having anybody to check in with to make sure that what you're practicing is correct, and you're not just practicing in all the old bad habits and continuing to reinforce those without realizing it. And number two, there's nobody mirroring back to you all the ways that you're getting in your own way that you don't even see. And so we're the opposite of that. We're with you every step of the way, making sure that you're implementing these strategies correctly and in a timely manner. And so we're building your transformation right alongside you. And so here's how we deliver that. You get weekly technique training modules that you're watching. You get weekly mind-body integration modules that you're engaging with. And then you come into studio class twice a week and into group mindset call once a week. So we have eyes and ears on you 3 times a week, checking in to make sure that you are embodying everything that you are learning correctly in the moment of singing. So it's one-on-one coaching in the context of a group, just like we've been doing here. You get one-on-one accountability mentoring with your dedicated mindset coach. You will meet Judy later on in the week on Monday, I believe, or Tuesday. You'll meet Judy on Tuesday. She's our amazing mindset coach who works with all of our singers. So you'll get to coach with her a little bit in the context of this later on in the week. And then it's a community, guys. It's a safe space, just like you've been experiencing here, to go beyond your comfort zone in a really compassionate and supportive community. And it's kind of an incubator in that way too, an artistic incubator to be amongst like-minded artists where you can learn and take action and grow to achieve your targets. So our normal tuition for the intensive program is $9K, but I'm giving you guys some huge bonuses during this workshop week for those who want to come join us and train in the program. First, I'm taking $2,000 off the tuition from now until the end of the workshop on Wednesday this coming week as a bonus discount for everyone here. So it's just $7K until midnight on Wednesday night. So that's the first big bonus, is a huge tuition discount. And then we have 3 more special bonuses. So for those of you who enroll before Wednesday, before the end of the workshop, you will get our critique, my critique, on one of your audition self-tapes. So for those of you who do a lot of auditions and you have to do a lot of self-tapes, it's really important to have somebody mirror back what's going on in that context to make sure that you're not making one of a few very obvious mistakes that would sabotage you right out the gate. So you will get a critique of one of your audition self-tapes. Also, for those of you who have artist websites, you'll get a full audit of your artist website or EPK or landing page. So whatever your online presence is, we're going to go in there and we're going to audit and make sure that you have everything that you need to have so that people who want to cast you, people who want to book you are not looking at your website and then go in another direction, not because you're not talented, but because you're missing some things, okay? And then also, the first 3 singers who opt for our pay in full option are going to get 2 bonus private one-on-one coaching sessions with me that they can use anytime throughout the program. I mean, everybody, you all coach with me in the program, but I'm giving you 2 bonus privates in addition for the first 3 singers who use the pay in full. So we have some great flexible payment options. I'm going to share my screen really quickly because I want you guys to be able to know what is available to you should you decide that you want to come join us and coach in the program. All right. So we have our most flexible, which is $18.97 a month, 4 payments of $18.97. The biggest value, which it takes the most off the discount, is $7,000, where our normal, it's $600 off of the monthly, and it's still $2,000 off of our normal $9K tuition. And we also have PayPal financing. So for those of you who want to perhaps spread it out over 12 months, 24 months, whatever, depending on the rate and term that you qualify for, you could get started in the program for as low as $350, $400 a month. So I really encourage you to investigate that option if that's something that would make the difference for you to be able to get the transformation and get out there and start landing opportunities with your voice that, yes, will pay you. So if you know you want in, you can use the link that Ashley's going to put in the chat to be able to start your enrollment. And you guys, you could it's pick your own start date. So you could literally be in class with us next week if you wanted to. So you can use the link that Ashley just put in the chat to learn more about the program and start your enrollment if you'd like to. If you have questions and you want to get on a short call with me to find out if this is really the right move for you, if it's going to meet your specific goals, your specific needs for your voice, then book a call with me. We'll get on the phone for like 15 minutes. It's not a coaching call, so that we're not going to do like vocal coaching. It's just a short call for us to discuss if what I've gone over is going to be a good fit for you to move forward with your goals and your singing. Then you can hop on that call with me so that I can answer any lingering questions that you might have. So that's the 15-minute discovery call that Ashley just put in the chat. Let me just go look at your chat to see how long is the program. Heidi's asking. It's a 4-month container. It's a 4-month intensive, and we pause for holidays. So don't worry if you have like holiday travel coming up, like we're paused for Thanksgiving and we're paused for Christmas and New Year's. So you won't, don't worry about that. So yeah, it's a 4-month coaching container to set this foundation for your skill set, meaning your technique, your mindset, and your artistry. And that is the foundation that a successful singing career is built on. You got to think of it like a tripod, right? 3 legs of the tripod: your technique, your artistry, and your mindset. And those 3 things, that is the tripod that a successful singing career stands on. And most of you have been, unfortunately, trying to build a singing career on a wobbly tripod, which is why you're not where you want to be. And so this is the 4-month process that Amy went through, that every singer who, if you've been on my website and you've watched people talk about the program, this is what they're talking about. That all of those wins, all of those celebrations, all of those results has come out of this 4-month container. And the reason why we can get the results that we do in 4 months is because we're working you 360 with incredible accountability and support. So the transformation always happens. So that's a great question, Heidi. Just going back into the chat to see if there was any other questions. Okay, you guys. So tomorrow, do not miss, because we're going to be integrating all of these tools to go from process to performance. So process to performance, meaning you've got tools for your mindset now. You've got tools for your skill set. You've got breath support. You've got resonance. You've got your anchor in your sales. So now we're going to integrate and we're going to put it now in the medium of going from process to performance. And I'm going to show you how to fast track process to performance by showing you how to get out of your own way to bring it like you have never brought it before. And that's what is really necessary to make the kind of impact to get to those opportunities and those elite opportunities that you really want. So, reminder, do your homework tonight. It's in the masterclass workbook. Use the Mamo Moose siren, the Mamo Moose from yesterday. Use your siren technique to play with the Mamo Moose to practice embodying your opposition. Do the next thought exercise, understanding why you sing the way you do. It will prepare you with the insights that you need to get ready for the work that we're going to be doing in tomorrow's session. Again, if you want to learn the details of the intensive program or you want to start your enrollment, here's that link again. Ashley will put it in the chat. All the information is there, and you can take care of your enrollment as well. And if you have questions, your next step is to book a discovery call with me. Even if you're not sure, if you're like, well, I want this, but I'm a little scared or whatever. You guys, I don't bite. My time is your time. I have set aside time this weekend. Get on my call calendar and let's discuss it. That's your next step. If training with us is where you know you want to be, get in before the discounts and the bonuses expire, before the discount on the tuition. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's session for more breakthroughs. Go rock your Saturday. I'm going to go hang out with my daughter. We're going to have some Mexican food. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Mwah, mwah. Bye.